The resumption of the 2021-2022 school year has been scheduled for September 6, 2021 at 7 a.m. nationwide. The information is contained in an order jointly signed by basic and secondary education ministers. Get the fever of back-to-school preparations in this newscast. With school resumption just a fortnight away, transport unions have joined efforts to curb road accidents. What are their accident prevention strategies? Get answers on this edition of the 7:30 News. Plus, on our news spotlight, Cameroon, my beautiful country, we take a ride to the Midlands to discover a rare gem lake Tizen, which is a tourist trap in the Adamawa region full of mysteries and a great place for relaxation and horse ride. Don't go away, we'll be right back. Good evening and thanks for joining us on this edition of the 7:30 News. I'm Gladys Tata.
We must remain vigilant and mobilized, for this rapidly changing health crisis is still around. Together, we must resolutely continue the crucial phase of the fight against this virus through vaccination.
Speculations on the opening date for the 2021-2022 school year has been refuted. The academic year in all government and private basic and secondary education institutions begins on Monday, September 6th and ends Friday, July 22nd, 2020. This is contained in an order issued by both ministers of basic and secondary education. Yves Formoso reads meaning from the conjoint order.
A conjoint order of the Ministries of Basic and Secondary Education fixing the calendar of the 2021-2022 school year brings to rest rumors circulating on an alternative date for school resumption. 33 articles split in 3 sections provide details on the running of the school year. The order brings to 4 provisions of a school year amidst COVID-19, 2 options, either through face-to-face or distance learning. Class enrollments are limited to a maximum of 60 pupils. For school operating on single-shift systems will run from 7:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. The order details closing date for the 3 terms, pedagogic organizations, management of school time, and evaluations. Other provisions on the holding of general assemblies or school councils, departmental meetings, class councils, official examination dates, and levies are included in the conjoint order. The Ministries of Basic and Secondary Education through the order makes it clear in black and white that schools will officially resume on Monday, September 6, 2021.
Yes, Yves Formoso, you went downtown Yaoundé to gather reactions from parents and heads of learning institutions following the conjoint order of the Minister of Basic and Secondary Education, Professor Pauline Alova-Lyonga and Professor Serge Tundingwa. You compiled them in the following report.
A nail-biting moment for parents caught in the web of back-to-school preparations as a date for school resumption is fixed for Monday, September 6. For some, the conjoint order of the Ministries of Basic and Secondary Education only came to make things clear.
We started with preparations at the end of last school year, so the rumors circulating didn't have any impact. All the same, with the order, we are good to go.
At the government bilingual high school in Koliton, we met the principal in her usual routine.
We were not affected in any ways by rumors and circulation. We have been working with September 6 in mind, so the minister's order met us in our usual state of preparation.
Parents, pupils and teachers continue with back-to-school preparations. The official date for school resumption remains September 6, 2021.
And it's official, the 2021-2022 school year in Cameroon for secondary and primary schools will kick off on September 6th. In this build-up to the date, those who play a key role in ensuring that textbooks are available in bookshops, publishers and distributors say they have kept supply steady. They told CRTV reporter Beatrice Ngom that most of the textbooks on program this year are already in bookshops. Beatrice?
Bookshops, less than 2 weeks to school resumption. Workers are busy. They are shelving the bookshops with didactic material. To make sure all textbooks on program are available, bookshops have worked next to distributors and publishers.
The publishing house and all the distributors of the book do very good job to make the books available now.
Actors in the textbook sector are upbeat. They say they have worked tirelessly in editing, working on the graphic designs and examining their quality to make them marketable.
All the textbooks we have on the school program are available. We have this Latin textbook from Form 1 and 2, and these Chinese textbooks, Tom 1, 2 and 3 for Form 1, 2, 3 and 5 respectively. Tom 4 is the only textbook which is not on the bookshelves as from now.
Yet the feedback on some of these textbooks on bookshop shelves is not comforting.
The problem concerns the bookshops. When they look at the official programs, the name of the book is not mentioned. That is the difficulty, the problem we have with this book.
Whatever the case, actors in the textbook sector are reassuring. They say textbooks are available and on time.
2 weeks to school resumption, some internally displaced students and pupils in Yaoundé say that they have no means to either purchase school items nor get enrolled for the new school year. With the little odd jobs executed here and there to make a living, some parents attest life in Yaoundé is a nightmare. Emmanuel Vemnier went finding out the situation and reports that IDPs in Yaoundé are in dire need for assistance to go back to school.
Tears of a mother overpowered by life's challenges in an alien environment with nothing to show for. Displaced from Takui Bui Division, Northwest Region to Yaoundé, this mother of 6 weeps for an uncertain future for her children who at few days to school resumption have got nothing ready.
Have you bought uniform, book?
No.
Because you have not had money yet.
Attacked by gunmen in her home for trying to stand up for the education of the children in the crisis-stricken Northwest Region, Mama Eukaria took off for Yaoundé in September 2018, leaving behind everything. Life has become a nightmare.
To plan now is to have money. If you don't have money, what will you be planning for?
Eating 3 meals a day is now a luxury for her children.
When there's food, we eat. When there's no food, we stay like that.
With no support whatsoever from anyone, she solely relies on the little she makes from the sale of corn beer to handle every expense.
I'm making sure to sell and send my children to school, food items in the house rent. It's not easy, only that when you don't accept anything that has happened to you, God will just show you the way.
She hangs on to the hope that God will provide, for as it stands, she has got no franc to get the children ready for a new school year.
We take you to the southwest, where 4 newly appointed University of Buea officials have been installed into their functions. They were installed by the Vice Chancellor of the University of Buea, Professor Ngomo Oras Manga, who called on them to consolidate the gains of the University of Buea. Details with Fame Boni Ayize from CRTV Southwest.
Great joy filled the air following the installation of the recently appointed University of Buea officials. Professor Mukenge Emmanuel Adolphe steps in as the new Deputy Vice-Chancellor in charge of internal controls and evaluation, while Professor Eneke Bechem Esoyang Tambe comes in as the first female registrar of the institution.
I feel very humbled, having moved from a student here to this position today as a registrar. Is exciting, at the same time very challenging.
The second pair comprised of the new Director of Academic Affairs, Professor Egbe Eno Andrew, and Professor Endeli Margaret Nalova, coming in as the Dean of the Faculty of Education. A weight of expectations now rests on these university dons.
The university on all fronts has been performing very well. It has accomplished a lot, and I'm calling on them to consolidate these gains so that the university continues to remain peaceful and remains resolutely focused on the achievement of its objectives.
And for the newly installed University of Boya officials, work begins in earnest.
Heads of Road Transporters Union in Cameroon have resolved to work with government in curbing road accidents in the country. The coordinator of the National Land Freight Transporters Union, Umaru, during a press conference in Yaoundé disclosed that they will henceforth organize training sessions for drivers and also renew their truck plying the Douala, Bangui, Douala, Jamena corridors. Iwane Epole reports.
Many road accidents in Cameroon have of recent caused the loss of lives with many injured. The causes of the accidents are mostly blamed on the irresponsible behavior of drivers. It is in this light that the national coordinator of Cameroon's Land Freight Transporters Trade Union, Umaru, organized this press conference to enlighten the public on their move with the government to curb road accidents in the country.
Despite the obtention of the driving license, we will well organize the professional training for drivers concerning the heavy-duty trucks. We will be extended to Chadian and Central African Republic drivers. We are also working with the government in order to renew all our lorries.
Concerning rumors about a strike action to be organized in the days ahead, the representatives of the different road transporters trade unions present during the press conference announced that there will be no strike action throughout the national territory.
The campaign against the spread of HIV, AIDS and transmissible diseases with peer educators has been intensifying in the nation's capital. At the Mimboman neighborhood, the young peers captured the attention of many youth hawkers. Staff lady Enanga Kebi was there. She came back and put together this report.
The Mimboman Main Junction, a popular neighborhood in the nation's capital with a market nearby, was the site for today's campaign with the peer educators in the nation's capital. They targeted everyone around the market square, but mostly youths who are serving as market hawkers and errand boys. To the peer educators, the exercise has not been that easy as presumed. Some city dwellers are not convinced of the presence of HIV/AIDS since the public is more concerned with COVID-19.
It's true that the coronavirus disease is the threat now, but there's also the HIV/AIDS.
The presence of the mobile screening van for HIV/AIDS attracted close to 30 to 40 youths every hour for voluntary screening.
The virus is something that does not kill, and if you take well your drugs, you can stay free with it.
We received some persons who want only to make a COVID test. We send them in the appropriate place.
Barely 2 weeks into the campaigns, the peer educators are satisfied with the response by the public. Their next rendezvous is slated for tomorrow, 26th, around the Yaoundé Central Post Office Junction, another popular spot crowded most of the time with youth hawkers.
Public Works Minister Emmanuel Nganu Jumesi has ended his 3-day working visit to the far north region of the country. The visit was an opportunity for the minister to assess the progress of several road construction and civil engineering projects. The balance sheet of the visit in this report by Joyce Kimbi Fawajo.
In 3 days, the Minister of Public Works visited 4 road and bridge construction projects. The reconstruction of the bridge over Limani on the borders with Nigeria.
This bridge is the economic life wire of the sub-region. The image of the visiting minister to the structure brings joy not only to Cameroonians, Central Africans and even Sudanese.
The Mora-Dabanga Kuseri Road and its carrier for the production of gravel. The Marwa Bogo Road officially opened to circulation, and the laying of the foundation stone for the reconstruction of the Pala Bridge in the Marwa town. At the hour of balance sheet, there was the good and the bad.
On Mayo Limani, the work is going on very well. The road Mora Dabanga Kuseri, the company are doing their best. I would like to say that I'm satisfied with what is going on.
The meeting with municipal councillors permitted them to clarify their concerns as to the transfer of competence to them in the sector of roads.
Children of some deceased policemen have been proud beneficiaries of didactic material prior to the start of the new academic year. The gesture is from the Policemen's Wives Association, POA. Its founder and national president, Philomen Bagangele, presided at the event in the presence of the Minister of Social Affairs, Pauline Irene-Gene. Romeo Kenye tells us more.
Some 2,000 orphans of late police officers who died serving the country, now of school-going age from primary to universities, the Policemen's Wives Association, POA, created in October 2015, comes rejuvenating their joy at the eve of school resumption. Didactic and financial aid is handed to the young stars, drawn from English and French subsystems of education.
I would like to say a huge thank you to the women of POA. We are really grateful for what we've received today. This didactic material really represents something important for us because it's really important for the next academic year which is coming. So we promise to all these mothers who gave their money, their time, their energy for this ceremony that we will have good results this year.
Speaking, POA's national president, Philomen Bagangele, describes the gesture as a symbol of unity amongst policemen's wives. A 6th edition termed by Minister of Social Affairs, Pauline Irene-Gene, a moment to propagate social inclusion virtues and education, a fundamental right of children. The beneficiaries are from 148 households nationwide.
The Tiko District Hospital in the Southwest region now has a new oxygen concentrators to help ease respiratory complications of COVID-19 active cases. This is an offer from the separatist Transglobal Alliance to the Southwest region's oldest medical facility. Larry Ifande has more from Boya.
The medical staff at the Tiko District Hospital heave a sigh of relief. The offer of oxygen concentrators, disinfectants, hand sanitizers and others is hoped to bring about some respite to the COVID-19 misery in a hospital that counts 68 active cases since January 2021.
When you have people who start and think about you and bring you things like oxygen concentrators, I think you should really be happy. We are really happy to have it.
The donation is an outstretched arm of the Separatist Transglobal Alliance, an independent sorority of former students of Seka Baptist College, Limbe. It falls within Phase 2 of the association's COVID-19 response program to 7 health facilities in the Southwest, Northwest and West regions.
Brought them oxygen concentrators, very, very crucial equipment for this period when we are suffering from the COVID-19 pandemic, and we've also brought them disinfectants.
The Tiko District Hospital is the region's oldest medical facility. It currently tests and refers active COVID-19 cases to either of the 2 treatment sites in the Southwest. The oxygen concentrators will therefore make referrals of critical cases easy.
The 8th session of the Cameroon-Nigeria Transborder Security Commitment has ended in Abuja with a renewed commitment to reinforce intelligence sharing and cross-border controls to combat all forms of transborder crimes, including separatist and jihadist activities. The resolutions and the final communique were signed on the behalf of Cameroon by the Minister of Territorial Administration, Atanganji Paul, and Major General E.A. Ndagi for the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The 2 parties pledged to promote conference building and job creation in border communities. Alben Jembonde is a special envoy to Abuja.
By putting pen on paper, Paul Atanganji of Cameroon and Major General E.A. Ndagi of Nigeria are recommitting their countries to reinforce the exchange of intelligence sharing, intensify joint border patrols, and frustrate all attempts by Boko Haram, the Islamic State for West Africa, and separatist movements aiming to destabilize the 2 countries.
We sincerely thank President Muhammadu Buhari for his permanent commitment never to allow any part of his territory to serve as a safe haven for terrorists against neighboring and sovereign countries, including Cameroon. On the other hand, we wish to reassure the leader of the Nigerian delegation of President Paul Biya's determination never to allow his territory to be used as a training ground by terrorists against a friendly and brotherly country like Nigeria.
While we continue to address the security concerns across our common borders, which includes a host of transnational organized crimes, particularly terrorism and secessionist activities, it is necessary to intensify efforts on confidence-building measures for the border communities.
Recommendations of the contiguous governors urging the creation of local development committees to handle problems at the grassroots and the construction of roads and social amenities in the borderline were equally adopted. The two parties agree that it is only by empowering border communities that their vulnerability to join rebel groups will be minimized.
And onto our COVID-19 page tonight, we shall be coming back to that report there. And let's talk about the Nigerian police that has arrested a separatist agent in Nigeria who has been providing armaments to secessionists in the northwest and southwest regions. This is one of the examples of good security cooperation between Yaoundé and Abuja. Charles Ebune explains how the operation was conducted in the following report.
His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari reassures you that Nigeria's territory will never be used as a haven or staging area by any group of secessionists to destabilize another friendly sovereign country.
That was the Nigerian National Security Advisor just yesterday on the sidelines of the latest security meeting between Cameroon and Nigeria. And here comes the Nigerian police today to match words with actions.
The suspect in this case, Ntui Lambert, was arrested with these items: 58 wraps of explosives suspected to be dynamite. 58 wraps of explosives.
The arrest by the Nigerian police of the separatist agent supplying armaments to secessionists in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon is one more sure proof that Nigeria and Cameroon are two countries with one agenda.
These are very strong explosives that can have very devastating impacts.
The special operation conducted by the Nigerian police was done within the framework of the nitty-gritties of an intelligence service.
Devastating impacts when they find their way into the hands of criminals. Was arrested by...
As all Nigerian officials have indicated, including President Muhammadu Buhari himself personally, during an audience he granted to the Minister Delegate to the Minister of External Relations in charge of relations with the Commonwealth, Felix Mbayu, months ago, Nigeria will never serve as a safe haven to separatist tendencies to destroy Cameroon. Come Lord Jesus.
Africa needs broad and equitable access to the vaccine. Indeed, how can we achieve herd immunity with less than 5% of our citizens currently vaccinated?
On our COVID-19 page tonight, we shall be talking about the management of those tested positive for COVID-19 these days. Baldwin Sama and his guest, Dr. John Juma, are at the Public Health Emergency Operations Center with explanations. Hello, Baldwin. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening to you, Gladys Tata. It's a major concern for most Cameroonians these days, talking about case management of those tested positive for the coronavirus these days. How are they taken care of and where exactly? Let's find out from Dr. John Juma, who is our guest this evening. Good evening to you, Doctor.
Good evening, Starma.
Those tested positive for the coronavirus these days, how and where are they taken care of?
Actually, it has not changed. The protocol remains the same. The places of care, the care centers are still open. So if you are tested positive and then look at your situation, if it is very severe, you are admitted and then put on oxygen and then follow the normal protocol regimen. As was before, nothing has changed.
If the question arises because more and more persons believe that home treatment has been what has been embraced by many Cameroonians nowadays, especially those who have been tested positive for the coronavirus.
We understand there is a scare. People think that being tested for COVID is a death sentence. No, it is not a death sentence. COVID could be managed, and now we are fortunate that we have vaccines, which are a preventive measure. So there's a treatment measure, which is being admitted in the hospital, and then there's a protocol that you follow if your case is very severe, as I initially said, and then there are other things to be done, like oxygenation and so on. Otherwise, go back to your hospital. Hospitals are the best place to care for COVID cases, especially those that are severe. It is also true that if it gets to a point where they find that you could be managed at home, and then you'll be discharged home like any other patient who is sick and in a state of convalescence.
Thank you so much, Dr. John Juma, for that reassurance. To avoid getting to that situation, we should simply continue respecting the different outlined barrier measures to limit the spread of the coronavirus in Cameroon. Back to you, Gladys Tata.
Thank you, Let's now take a ride to one of Cameroon's deepest lakes, Lake Tison, found some 15 kilometers from Gaoundéré on the way to Meganga. It's a crater lake surrounded by rich flora and fauna, which gives it a picturesque look. This wonder of nature is a major tourist attraction of the area and is a focus of our destination slot on the news, Cameroon, my beautiful country. Let's hit the road with Amos Enonyake from CRTV at the Mawa.
Lake Tison is less than 15 kilometers drive away from Gaoundéré, the capital city of the Adamawa region. The crater lake, surrounded by nature's best in terms of flora and fauna, provides a conducive setting for lovers of nature. Historians say the lake is as a result of a volcanic activity that once took place. With an average depth of about 48 meters, an altitude of 1,160 meters, a diameter of 300 meters spread within a surface area estimated at 8 hectares, Lake Tison welcomes tourists from different nations who crave to see the wonders of God personified in nature. The Adamawa Regional Delegation of Tourism and Leisure have made available limited accommodation facilities for tourists who wish to sleep over by this impressive tourist site and contemplate its beautiful nature.
To this advertorial, Cameroon Telecommunications Camtel has been drilling its staff nationwide on measures to fight against the wave of the coronavirus known as the Delta variant already in the country. An education session via a video conference linking all the branches of the company across the country took place at the conference hall of Camtel's head office here in Yaoundé. It was co-moderated by the Director General of Camtel, Madam Judith Sunday Achidi, and the resident representative of the WHO to Cameroon, Dr. Fanel Habimana. Irene Manti Ayonge completes that story from CRTV Center.
The visit of the resident representative of the World Health Organization to Camtel's head office in Yaoundé was intended to consolidate the company's efforts in keeping their staff safe against the deadly coronavirus pandemic. Through video conferencing, co-moderated by the August guest and the Director General of Camtel, the staff were urged on the need to get full doses of the anti-COVID-19 vaccine.
This session was just to give them information on the COVID disease, but also, and more importantly, the fourth measure that the government has adopted, which is vaccination.
The very rich interactive exchange and the impressive strides already put in place by the telecommunications giants left the WHO top official greatly impressed.
We leave Camtel with an excellent impression of all the efforts that the leadership of this company has done to protect its workforce, but also encouraging them to be vaccinated. We have put in place some follow-up actions. For instance, they are going to do a survey to know how many people have been vaccinated so far, and establish also some benchmark or targets. The Director General of Camtel then outlines the significant results so far recorded by her company in keeping with the COVID-19 preventive measures, but challenged her collaborators not to relent so as to put the deadly new variants at bay.
It has been very important and challenging for us to make sure that our staff is safe. So we have applied strictly and very rigorously all the measures instructed by the government and the World Health Organization. It made to understand that there's a third wave which is coming, and we want to make sure that our personnel is safe.
It was a visibly satisfied WHO top official who left the premises of Camtel head office in Yaoundé.
A one-month holiday football championship has ended in Atok subdivision in the East region, with organizers stressing on the need for the young people of the community to lend a hand in development activities of the area. The Beben Festi food competition kept youth of the locality of Atok busy during the holiday and also fostered unity amongst them. Baldwin Sama traveled to Atok to watch the closing match and has this report.
Celebration time at the end of a successful football competition as Landa Football Club lifts the trophy of the 2021 Festive Foot Beben. The winners here in Sky Blue, playing against Niembe at the final, made use of a single goal scored to carry the day. The final was played here with Macaque, which was an opportunity for entertainment among youths in the village.
Before, it was Atok. Today, it's Macaque. Next year, it will certainly be in another village. Our wish is to have the entire subdivision involved.
The 25 villages of Atok subdivision in the Upper Nyong division of the East region of Cameroon took part in this year's edition of the Holiday Football Championship, as the championship will continue rotating in order to permit each village welcome the competition. Festive Foot Beben has become an annual rendezvous.
Romel Trisangok will be your host at 8:30 for Le 20h30. And do join Fred.
As part of efforts to combat COVID-19 in particular, we must consolidate the gains already achieved and intensify mobilization for the ongoing vaccination campaigns in our countries.